But the point I'm trying to make is, since I started getting onto Cole, Mo hasn't kept the same energy.
Yeah, me.
Mo has moved away from his love of J. Cole.
Yeah, me. You've known me since the beginning.
You could accuse Mo of being phony.
Have I not always been consistent with J. Cole? Honestly.
Listen, I've always known you as being a J. Cole fan.
Yeah, but you wouldn't even.
Have I always been honest with his music and said who's better?
You've mentioned his name every chance you've got.
Yeah, but have I been honest with his music?
When was the last time he did that?
What his albums are saying? What in terms
Yeah, but when was the last time he did
that's-
that?
yeah.
Yeah, when was the last time he did that?
Let's
When
not
was the
have a
last time
blind fan
he's
here.
shown his love for Cole?
I mean, it's been a minute.
Big
Thank
man,
you.
I was just
There's a
at
reason for that.
wireless he was headlining.
The point
You
I'm trying to
always tell
make.
that story too.
The point I'm trying to make here is that Mo has changed. Mo's not the same Mo no more. I feel like he's like he lost a bit of
So
backbone.
you're less
you
of
know?
a stand now and just.
We're not-
a
He
fan.
he's lost a bit of his backbone. I'm not gonna lie to you.
wow.
I've been very consistent with J.
Nah, not
I've
anymore,
always
bro.
said,
He's saying you're
I've
spineless.
seen Cole 6 times. I'm not on a
He's
Cole
saying you have
fan.
less of a spine.
I've seen J. Don't even
It's
do
not the
this,
same
bro.
though. You don't
I've
love
seen
love him like you once did.
Bro.
That's
He's
all
saying-
I'm trying to
He's saying
say.
your backbone's lacking.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
What's going on, world? Welcome to episode 47 of the Rhymes Like Dimes podcast with your boys Peter,
Yo,
Mohammed,
You.
myself, Yummy. Another day, another pod. How you guys doing?
yeah, man, very well, man. God is good
All the time.
all the time. God is good, man. How you, man, doing?
Amen.
Hey, man, I've been alright. Just been working. I wish, you know, when you come to the podcast, you expect something entertaining, innit?
I mean, we've been on lockdown, man.
Yeah,
so there's
but it's the
nothing
same
else.
until
Do you know what I
June
mean?
21st.
Nothing to report.
Nah, but
Do you know
come
what I
post
mean?
June 21st, don't worry.
Don't worry.
There'll
You're gonna be out in these streets.
There'll be an uptake in these stories. When it comes to you, Mo, how did your week go? I'm gonna come back with something.
So what you gonna be up to?
won't.
What?
No, you
What are you gonna be up to?
Hey, man, yeah,
There-
how was your week?
There'll be exactly. There'll be a lot of
He's
stories.
shuffling.
There'll be a lot of stories that you won't want to share. So, boy.
Hey, man.
But yeah, everything's cool. Again, lockdown. Still got 2 more months of this, man, before things even remotely start
That's it,
opening
man.
up.
I'm back
So,
April 12th.
at work.
Yeah,
Damn.
Physically.
yeah.
Mm.
Can't wait.
Oh, I bet.
Can't wait.
I bet you can't even wait for the people that ask you to see the manager. That's what you're looking forward to the most.
Satisfaction. Can I speak to your manager? Speaking. Shut your dumb ass up.
You can't say that as a manager.
I can't even say half the stuff I've said to you.
Exactly. You wanna
Or do half the stuff you've done.
see?
See, we're not going down this road, bro.
We're not doing that.
No.
We're not doing that. We're not doing that. It's cool. It's all good, though. Peter, how was your week? Inside joke, audience. Inside joke.
My week's been alright, man. Nothing to report, bro. But working out quite a bit. Yeah, I mean, giving up meat, so I'm like fully plant based at the moment.
No.
But yeah, man. Apart from that, just working, and it's still working from home. Eagerly anticipating, being allowed out. But yeah, same shit, man.
Vegan babes, if you're listening.
Vegan babes.
I'm just saying, bro.
I'm not vegan. I'm plant based. There's a difference.
What's the difference?
Well, vegan, they're very cautious about wearing clothes that are made from like.
Yeah, I mean, you're
Do you know
vegan
what I mean?
in
And
terms
like
of
their cream, their soaps.
you're
I'm
vegan
not.
in
I'm
terms
not
of
that.
food diet.
I'm
but
plant
you're
based.
not-
I'm
you're
just plant based.
you're
I'm
not-
not vegan.
Do you not like the name?
I don't mind it, but when you say vegan, you automatically draw for like every.
So you don't eat fish?
No,
Nah,
I'll draw for the food.
Don't
just
eat fish?
plants.
Just plants.
Just plants.
So you're a rabbit.
Why you
Basically.
gotta say that? You could do with like laying off the meat and that. To be fair,
Hey, man.
That was crazy.
why was that crazy?
Lay off the meat.
That was
See, you're
crazy.
sick
Nah,
because
that
my
was-
mind didn't
Yeah,
even.
me?
My mind didn't even
Yeah,
go there.
That was wild.
You man are sick.
How dare you tell me stay off the feet?
You man are sick.
Hey, don't do that.
Get your
to me.
minds out of the gutter.
You must start putting my jacket on, cuz that
Yeah.
fool.
Listen, get your mind out of the gutter. I did not mean that. Clearly, I'm referring to food. The fact that I even need to clarify, you know what? That was a massive bite. That was a massive bite.
100%. Mohammed, how was your week?
You asked me, bro. How was your
No,
week?
I was about to ask you how your week was.
Yeah.
Fine. To be honest, same. I ain't done much.
Mm.
Still on furlough, writing a lot,
You
watching
been in
bare
your right
TV.
bag, innit?
Been in my writing
You've been in
bag.
your right bag.
So yeah, getting paid off that, so that's cool. Been watching bare TV. I watched the Al Capone film today with Tom Hardy.
Yeah.
It's easily one of the shittest films I've ever watched in my
Do you
life.
know what? It came up on my my feed today, and I was gonna put it on my watch later list. But
Oh man,
I
Was it
haven't.
Netflix.
it's
Yeah.
bad.
Is it bad?
It's bad.
He's a very good actor though.
He's a good actor. He saves it in a sense, but the script is bad. The story is bad.
Do you know who directed it?
No.
Okay.
I don't. But yeah, I mean, watch it. But boy,
I probably won't.
There you
I'm
go.
not gonna waste my time.
There you go. But yeah. Other than that, I've been cool, man. I've been cool.
Listening to?
Well, before we get into that, I want to shout out everyone listening. Everyone who's listening on SoundCloud, everyone who's listening on Spotify, everyone who's listening on Apple Podcasts or wherever you're listening. Big ups to you. You're the reason why we're doing this thing still. So big ups to you. In terms of what I've been listening to this week, well, I've still been doing that music writer exercise. So I've been listening to an album a day for over the last month. So
How long you got left?
Just tomorrow.
Okay.
Just tomorrow. So in the last 2 weeks, I've listened to a lot, man. But just to skim through, I listened to Brittany Howard's album. That was really good.
Mm-hmm.
Coffee Stone was really good. T-Rex, Electric Warrior, classic album, dope. Slum Village, Detroit Deli, mid. Charlie,
That's Post Dilla, innit?
Post Dilla.
Yeah.
You know what it was dope, cool rapping. Rapping was fine. You know what you're going to get from Elzai and T3.
Yeah.
But generally, nah. But what was Dilla's line in Selfish? More D than 12 M&Ms.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that touched me. But yeah, Charlie XCX, How I'm Feeling Now. Phony People, Yesterday's Tomorrow, man. Met McGee, Everything Starts From Now was dope. Fleetwood Mac, Rumors, it's really, really good. I didn't realize that.
I've never actually listened to Fleetwood.
You should. That album is dope. It's literally got every advert soundtrack ever for every advert ever made in that.
Daniela used to love them. She used to try and force me to listen to them.
So you know the F1 anthem?
Yeah.
It's on that album.
Okay. Rumors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so check that one out. Georgia, Seeking Thrills, not really good. Mahalia, Love and Compromise was a hype, nothing special. Billie Eilish, When We Fall Asleep. When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go? Shit.
They didn't win Bear Awards.
Yeah, she won a Grammy and shit, but it was shit. Production was shit. Vocals was shit. Everything was shit. It was just bad. It was shit. It was just bad. Like, she's young and that, so I'll give her a pass, but shit show.
All right, yeah, we get the point, man.
Shit.
That chopper off.
Shit. Bro, I felt offended listening to that shit. It was a Thursday night. I was like, all right, cool, let me bust this out. Let's listen to it. I've seen all the hype. Nah.
I must have missed your tweet because that would have made me laugh, bro.
Bro, it was shit. And then Joni Mitchell, Blue, which I really enjoyed. Yesterday I listened to Khalees, Kaleidoscope, which was really good. She never got paid off that album.
Yeah, man, it's funny you said that because I revisited her first album and then I started watching some interviews and I could see that she had said that them man pretty much robbed her for her publishing.
They robbed her.
And no one said a word about it.
They swindled her.
I know it's the Neptunes and it's Pharrell and we all love Pharrell, but...
That's, yeah.
Boy.
Nah.
But to be fair also, I think probably because of like the type of time it was within the music industry, I imagine that she just got the basic record contract though and she just signed it, innit?
Just off from money.
Yeah, but I suppose it's a thing where she gets into this situation with a producer duo that she obviously trusts and she's worked with and they just fuck her over.
Do you think they knew any better?
They had to have known.
Yeah, you know what you're saying.
They had to have known.
I mean, they gave her the contract, of course, but...
Yeah, so you know...
Yeah,
so that's a strike on Pharrell and Chad's record.
But
and today
Trust me.
Yeah, for real. And today I listened to Inner City, which was like an old school 80s kind of black pop group. You know the song Good Life? Good life, good life, good life, good life, good life, good life.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
So yeah,
just trying
that
to catch
group.
it.
Yeah, it was a cool album. And tomorrow I've got Stan Ghetts and Jao Gilberto. Gilberto.
That's dope.
You listen?
Yeah, you'll like that. Yeah.
Calm. And that's me for the end of the week. And obviously I listened to an album that we're gonna get into later.
He was in the Pele documentary as well.
He was, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He was. Wait, Jao Gilberto or Gilberto Gil?
Charles Gilberto.
You sure?
Oh wait, hold on a minute.
I think it was Gilberto Gil.
You sure?
Yeah. Gil. Gilberto Gil.
Only Gilberto, I know.
Yeah,
Silver.
it was Gilberto Gil. It wasn't
You sure?
Jao Gilberto. No.
Hold on, let me double check.
Yeah, I know you know.
I'll check later.
Silver.
Only
Yeah,
Gilberto,
yeah.
I know it's Silver.
Yeah, we get
Cool.
that.
Only one I had knowledge with.
Yeah. Expand your mind, sir.
Do you know what I mean?
Honestly, that this year read off. I'm not gonna do it, but salute to you.
Cool.
Yeah, I couldn't do what you did.
Yeah, I could.
Man.
Charlie X.
Respect.
God bless you, fam.
No, I want to listen.
Respect it.
I've been wanting to listen to more pop music generally anyway. So this month has been a good way to do that. What have you been listening to this week, Mo?
I think I told you guys before this. Honestly, do you know what it is? I go through phases. There's been so many battles I've dropped on that app. don't know if you've actually checked that app recently. So it's a battle rap app where they update the battles that have recently come out on it. So a couple of days ago they dropped Twerk versus Drugs. But in terms of the battle rap scene, there's been a big hoo-ha. There's been debates left, right, and centre, who's a legend and who's not, which was a really big debate, to be honest with you. And then there were battle rap disses going back and forth between the eras, because now the era that came up 2010 are now the older figures. So now the 2020 lot are trying to get them out of it. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So like when Surf and them used to send for Lux and Mook, now the younger ones are starting to send for Surf, and
so a change of the guard is coming.
it's not coming. They
Oh.
work.
Fair enough.
No, do you know what it is? I feel like, do you remember when Pete was like, "Oh, you can't beat these guys," and who's easy the block captain really beating? And also,
Wait, what did I say?
remember when you was like, you know, when you knock Surf and them like, against not Cass, but like Mook, Rex. You know how you you look at like Rex as if he's indestructible, but in reality, 95% of these guys will beat him. I'm at that point now where I believe none of these new sport people can mess with Surf's era. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And also they've recently announced Cassidy and Hitman's having a battle.
Hitman Holler
Hitman Holler versus
of Wild and
Cassidy.
Out fame.
Cassidy the Hustler.
Cassidy the Hustler.
Cassidy the Hustler. Now ask Muhammad, what day is it? This battle's coming out April. Ask me on
Before you say that, Mo, one day we're gonna have a real conversation about people who feel like putting the Hustler next to their name is cool.
Don't do that.
You don't appreciate.
I'm just
Don't
saying.
you dare.
I'm just saying.
You're not a fan of Cassidy
I'm
the Hustler.
just Cassidy the Hustler.
No.
There's only one hustler worse than that. Peter knows what I'm talking about.
Yo, relax.
Do we want to say his name?
Respect Smooth
No.
the
The
Hustler.
Hustler.
Who?
I mean, Goods told
Smooth
me-
the
I mean,
Hustler.
Goods
Okay,
said-
cool.
Trigger the Gambler.
So as you were saying,
I mean, Goods or someone said to him, the Hustler. Something you look more like the customer. But that's neither here nor there. But ask me what I think's gonna happen to him.
that's a brilliant
That's
line,
a
by the way.
brilliant line. Ask me what I think's gonna happen to Cassidy before we get off this. Because someone asked me a whole month and a half before this battle. Because someone asked me what's gonna happen to Cassidy.
What's gonna happen to
He's
Cassidy?
gonna die. When I tell you Hitman Holler is gonna get him out of here, when I tell you it's gonna be bad, it's gonna be gruesome, it's gonna be barbaric.
A massacre.
It's gonna be a massacre. It's gonna be barbaric.
But you're looking forward to
Guantanamo
it.
Bay.
Boy, that's pretty grim.
Yeah, man, I can't wait. Cassidy's gonna get bodied, and I'm here for it.
I hear that, bro. All right, Peter, what you been listening to?
Not much, man. It's been a very slow week for music in the last couple of weeks rather. I've been listening to a bit of Jackson 5, diving into a bit of their catalogue. Ghetts, which we're going to talk about in a bit. Been sitting with that, and I was listening to Fela, Confusion album, and Gentleman album. So yeah, I've just been sitting with those really.
Feel that?
That's it, man. I know be gentleman at all, Lord.
Okay. So, thank you for that. Thank you for that rendition.
Africa man, original. I know be gentleman at all, Lord.
Listen, if there's anyone from a label listening to this, just throw a contract at Peter. He clearly wants it.
Fam, I could do it, man.
All right, cool. Let's move on to the first topic. So what we're going to do today is we're going to review Ghetts' album, Flipping Conflict of Interest, that he released a couple weeks ago. No, last week, actually. So when this comes out, it would have been like a week and a half ago. Yeah, man. It's Ghetts' third studio album, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
So after a career of like loads of different amazing legendary moments and mixtapes and stuff, he's released his third studio album recently, Conflict of Interest. It's like 16 tracks, an hour and 10 minutes long. Features from the likes of Skepta, Stormzy, JK, Dave, Wretch, Ed Sheeran, Emily Sandé, Pass Aliou, Back Row G. It's been well received by the scene, so much so that it actually entered in at number 2 on the UK albums chart in its first week, after a campaign #Ghetts for number 1, which saw Ghetts basically going all out on the marketing money, because he was out here in London on a tank. He went to Dubai for a bit to link Charlie's stuff to do Fire in the Booth. He dropped a tune or a freestyle on the tank as well. So like he's been doing bits. So yeah, the dust has kind of settled with the album. It's out now. We've obviously listened to it, and now it's the time to dissect and see how we feel about it. So Peter, I'll start with you.
I want to hear what Mo has to say. The reason why I say that is because he was talking about hot takes. I'm actually curious.
No, go, because my hot take's separate from the album. So you go first.
Oh, so it's not album related.
It's album related. It's just a side. It will deter from the actual album when I get into it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. All right. Cool.
You'll hear. You'll understand what I say.
Yeah, I really liked the album. Thought it was a really good one. It was nice to. I think the first thing that on the first listen, the first thing that I just deeped was how long he's been doing it for, man. It's been around for pretty much most of my adolescence, isn't it? So just like watching the moves he's made over his career, just analysing the moments that he's had within the game as well, and then, receiving this album in totality, I was actually really proud. I was really proud, man. I've always been a massive fan of Ghetts. He probably is like my second or third favourite MC from the UK. So I've always enjoyed him lyrically, and this album from back to front is just extremely consistent lyrically. And yeah, I just love that part, man. The fact that he's been in the game for as long as he has, and he ain't fallen off lyrically, man. He hasn't lost a step. If anything, I feel like his style of rapping, his flows are a lot more controlled. Like early Ghetts was very skippy, very aggressive, but I feel like he's found a way to control it and still ensure that like his pen and his delivery of his bars are still very potent. So overall, I thought it was a good album. I was a bit surprised. I wasn't sure what to expect. I wasn't sure if it was going to be a good album. I saw like an hour and 10 minutes. I was like, oh, I'm not trying to sit through all of that. But I was really happy though. I was really happy with the overall sound of the album. I thought it was really well rounded. I feel like he catered to a lot of different pockets within his arsenal, man. He had like, the aggressive tunes, the tunes of just pure crud. He had a couple of tunes where, kind of switched up the tempo and was a bit softer. And yeah, I feel like he was still himself, adding that contemporary touch to it as well. So that's my initial take on it. But I want to get a bit deeper once I've heard what you man have had to say.
Had you listened to any of his albums before?
Yeah, I've listened to all of them. And the last one I thought was really good as well. So I know that this is his first one on a major label. Mm-hmm. So I tried not to have any expectations, even though there's this, there's the guise of when somebody is signed to a major label, they tend to go to a poppier sort of sound altogether, innit? So I wasn't sure if that would be the case here as well.
Those days are over.
You think so?
Well, fully over.
Boy.
For someone of his stature and just general like quote unquote urban artists that signed to a major, those days are done.
You say that, but then I still think there's artists out there that will still lean to that though, because they still want to sell records, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's not by force of the label necessarily. It's because they will want to do it. It's not a thing where it's like the 90s where you have to have a hit record to, be whatever. Whereas, because this album, there's no like big hit from it, but it gets like the label knew what they were signing, they knew who they were getting, and they knew that he wasn't going to do any of that stuff. So, and look how well it's.
I mean, he could have. He did. I Make the Girl Them Sing for Me.
When was that?
This was, I can't remember how long ago it was, but that was his attempt at it. So
was it more than 5 years ago?
Maybe.
A long time ago.
It don't matter. The point I'm trying to make is the attempt is there. There were still artists that may still try that.
Yeah, of course. But what I'm saying is, my point is that the label are not necessarily forcing them to do that. It's because they want to do that. You know what I mean? Because they want to sell records. Whereas someone like Ghetts now, who is in this new level of knowing who he is artistically, he's not going to be the type to chase that sort of thing.
I would hope not.
Nor any of his contemporaries. I don't think, especially since like the resurgence of grime from like 2014 onwards has shown people that you don't need to do any of that stuff anymore to really be penetrative in the scene and in the culture. And if you want to do that pop stuff, then that's because you want to do it. That's because you want to explore it. But more time, they're not doing that so much. But I feel that, man. I mean, me personally, yeah, I love this album front to back. I think Ghetts is on a new plane lyrically, flow wise. He's found an amazing production team that have been able to essentially realize his sonic vision. Like the storytelling in this is top notch. Like when you think of songs like Autobiography,
I want to talk about that.
Fire and Brimstone, Fine Wine, like he's managed to find this balance between the more composed Ghetts, the more angry Ghetto, and Justin Clark, who's kind of a little bit more like sentimental in a sense. So,
and sorry, Ian, before you continue on that point, that's exactly what I felt looking at the album cover as well, because it's kind of split into the 3 parts of him. I initially, by looking at that, I was initially thinking, cool, he's going to give me the 3 parts. I'm going to get Ghetts, who is the complete artist. I'm going to get Justin Clark, who is the person behind the artist, and then you're going to get Ghetto, the younger Ghetts, in a sense. Do you know what I mean? So I kind of was expecting that, but yeah, sorry, go.
Yeah, for sure. And he definitely balanced that out well. And the good thing about him was it's a clear evolution, because on his last album, Ghetto Gospel, New Testament, you could see him trying to strike that balance a little bit more. But here, it just seems as if he's reached a creative peak where not only are all of those sides like comfortable, and he's realized a balance between them, he's taken those balances to a new level. And all the features do their thing as well. Like everything about this album, even Ed Sheeran's feature. I can't stand Ed Sheeran, but this was the one Ed Sheeran feature I found myself enjoying. Maybe because it was Ghetts, I don't know, but he actually did his thing. Songs like Proud Family is a beautiful song. Crud with Gigs, he's just tap dancing all over that one there. Little Bo Peep with Dave, standout verse. Stormzy did his thing, Skepta did his thing, JK did his thing. From front to back, this is just an amazing album, and I couldn't ask for anything more. If I'm honest, like I loved the last album so much, and I kind of knew that he would be on an upward trajectory from there, especially as he signed into a major. He's really getting into the renaissance period of his career where, he's in his mid-30s now. He knows what he wants from his music. He knows how to execute it, and he's doing it. And, bro, we're just getting the absolute maximum of his abilities right now, and I just love it. Like, put him on any beat, put him with any producer, put him with any guest feature. He is always going to shine. His bars are so scientific, they're so detailed, they paint a picture, and the clarity as well.
It's mad, man. It's scary how good he still is.
Yeah.
Like it's insane, man. Like when you just start breaking down his bars and the pockets and the flows and just how he sets up the it's mad.
This might be the first time we've seen someone figure it out so many years later. Does that make sense?
What do you mean?
Like you said, the Ghetts that we knew before when it was Ghetto, it was a bit erratic. Even the way he used to freestyle and roll with his hands, his stuff just dangling. Do you know what I mean? He was very erratic in the way he raps. It was class, but it was erratic. And I feel like now we finally, with this album, we see a Ghetts that it all comes together. Maybe for the first time, because I've listened to past Ghetts album. I'm not a massive fan of them. I wouldn't say I'm a massive fan of Ghetts' previous album.
Not even Ghetto Gospel?
No, I wasn't a massive fan. I haven't really gone back to it. I feel like this is the first album that I'm like, it all makes sense. And I feel like it's because he gives me everything I want. You've given me Ghetto, you've given me Ghetts, you give me the other bit as well. Do you know what I mean? You've given me all 3 of your sides of your person that I wanted. And what I didn't like is he didn't try to overcompensate. So, you know what some rappers do when they cool, I've got 3 grime tracks. They make 3 popular tracks. They make 3 of these. They try to balance out to make it. He didn't do that. It generally seems whatever he enjoyed, he just rapped on.
See, I feel like he did, but he did it well.
I don't know if he.
I feel like that's what made the album sound so well rounded. I don't think it was conscious.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think it was consciously. I just think it was. I'm in the booth and cool. Do you know what I mean? And it's like everything sounded so pure, so well versed, and it's like he gave us the perfect.
Well, that's the thing. That's the
perfect character.
That's the thing about grime MCs. We love them because they're grime MCs, but rarely do they come into the game as artists. They learn in real time. They learn as they get older. Ghetts is the perfect example of someone who was a grime MC, rapping for the fun of it, getting a reload, this, that, and the other, just to prove he was the best. He's now channeled it into artistry. And we're seeing that now. And we're seeing a golden age of our heroes, the Kanos, the Skeps and all that, who just barred, now becoming fully fledged artists and contributing a lot to the culture and the music of the country. You know what I'm saying? We've seen them evolve. We've seen them blossom in real time to where they're not just rapping just to rap. They're rapping with messages. They're rapping with purpose. They're rapping with determination, in a sense. So that is basically what Ghetts' his whole trajectory has been. It's all been leading up to this point where he's been the angry MC, and now he's just found a place where artistically he's comfortable.
It's funny you say that because he says that on Autobiography, where he was talking about, and I don't remember the lyric exactly, but so I'm going to paraphrase, but he was talking about a time where Channel U was popping, and essentially because he wasn't necessarily getting certain looks, he deeped within himself that his attitude was utterly shocking in dealing with, you know, people that were trying to help him get to a certain point. And then he was talking about how, like, you know, how insecurities had basically stopped him from getting to certain points. So even on that, like, I just feel like it's dope that he's even able to speak on that, because it's like black men in the UK especially, some of us have trouble like talking about insecurities. Do you know what I mean? Especially when you've grown up a certain way. You know what I mean? And typically when with our grime and UK rappers and MCs, like, you don't really hear vulnerability like that, I don't feel like. Especially with the vets as well.
Definitely with the vets.
You know what I mean? So especially with Ghetts, we've known Ghetts to just be rapping about crud. So to hear that, and I know he's been doing that in the last few years and that, but to hear that is still quite refreshing for me.
But even when he talks about crud, you see how artistically he does it.
It's fucking amazing though.
It's
I love it.
It's sonically on a different
I fucking love it, bruv.
Yeah,
Do you
man.
know the last time? Okay, cool. I'm not saying they're nowhere near the same artist. They don't make the same kind of music, nothing. But you know who was an artist that I waited for 10, 15 years to get me a pinnacle of his career?
Who?
Nipsey. Not in terms of they're similar, but you know Nipsey, I was listening to Nipsey for so long. And then when he dropped Victory Lap, it was like, finally the culmination of all your work has come to the surface. I feel like a little bit that's like with Ghetts. Like, you've been working so hard, giving us mixtapes, and it's like, finally the culmination of all your work has given us a project that I could be like, this is it. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
I agree and I disagree. I agree because...
I'm not saying the same artist, man.
Yeah, no, I'm not taking it like that at all. But I agree because I don't think he's made a better project than this one. But I disagree because I feel like the last album was really good as well.
Maybe for me, because I didn't fuck with it.
Okay, yeah. The last album was showing a lot of signs of what he dropped on this album. But I feel like this album, he just executed it a lot better. And I think it had lesser songs on this album than the last one as well, which made it a tad bit more succinct and just a bit more like compact. Do you know what I mean? So it was easy. The way it was packaged as well, I feel like...
it was a bridge.
Yeah.
It was a bridge to what we're getting now.
100%.
But yeah, I fuck with the album, man. To me, it's what I've been waiting for. But I feel like we need to have a conversation, because when you look at all the features on the album, they all showed us their level. Do you know what I mean?
I disagree with you.
Okay.
I didn't like all the features.
Okay, can I get my point across?
Yeah, go on.
Cool. I feel like, to me, Skepta didn't miss. I feel like Dave didn't miss. And Rich done what Rich was there to do. There was one more big person in it, Giggs. At what point are we going to stop acting like we like the playground rap? Like, at what? No, I'm not even trying to pirate, but like, the simplicity in Giggs' bars and the flow he's been giving us, at some point it's like, do you know how mad Ghetts made him look on that song?
Wake him up. Wakey, wakey.
Do you know how Ghetts made him look crazy, in my opinion?
You know what it is?
In terms of the way Ghetts was
But it's not a comparison though, bro.
No,
Also-
but it's like, yo, that's your contemporary. At least come
Ghetts
with a
did
little
not
bit-
bring Giggs in there to compete with him, I don't
Not
think.
really, but it's just like, I want Giggs to...
No. Giggs is in cruise control. We know
Yeah,
this.
Giggs is full on, like, his foot's off the gas.
100%.
Fully.
I mean, listen.
It's a Tesla. It's driving itself.
Yeah, but he knows that whatever he puts out, people are going to listen to. So he doesn't need to really be...
But it's a
you
shame.
know what I mean?
Because it's like, I really hate that verse. I hated Giggs' verse.
But what more can you see? What more would you want from
I
Giggs?
don't know, but that verse pissed me off. It was just like, bro, like...
You didn't like the flows?
Nah. It's just basic.
The opening flow was dope, though.
Predictable. No, the way he entered it was, you're right, smooth, but it's just like, at some point it becomes basic. Like, it's just a bit too...
Yeah, but
easy
that's
for
probably
two.
magnified even more so because he's next to Ghetts.
That's the problem. It's the album it's on as well. When I'm hearing bars every song, then I hear Wakey Wakey, I'm like...
Bro, Giggs just collaborated with Bizarre from D12. He's in cruise control.
I didn't even know he done that.
Yeah.
I didn't even know Bizarre still makes music.
I didn't know either. It was a shock to me too.
Only thing I knew about Bizarre takes off his t-shirt.
He probably still did in that video. But I feel you though. He is in cruise control. But other than that, like even with that, Giggs did what he did, and I didn't mind. I didn't hate it. You know what I mean?
I wasn't a fan of the verse. I fuck with Giggs artists, don't get me wrong. It's still in my top 5. It's just that verse was like, it was very jarring because like, when I look at other people in the album and what they bring, and it's like, yo, your verse is that. It's a little bit like, bro, everyone came serious. Dave came serious, in my opinion. Skepta came somewhat serious. Rich done what he done. Ghetts came serious the whole album. Do you know what I mean? The other people done what they needed to do. Stormzy done what he needed to do. Why are you not at least?
It's not. I feel what you're saying, and I think I might have been the first one to kind of raise that point here, where like, you know, because I want to be careful with like how I word what I want to word in it, but I think because of the artist that Giggs is, because of what he represents as well. A lot of people won't touch on his subpar raps and how long he's been rapping at this level for. It's a conversation people are probably scared to have, and a conversation that people won't have.
I reckon a lot of people still probably think that behind the scenes, though.
Yeah, but none of them will say it, though.
Of course not.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, I'm saying, they
1,000%
they won't say it.
But it's jarring. It's just like.
But he weren't the only feature that I wasn't feeling. Like I didn't like the Pass Sally You song. I didn't really like.
I like Pa's verse. I didn't
like the Dave tune. I weren't feeling that.
Real?
Yeah, the Ed Sheeran song. I love that song until Ed Sheeran. I heard his voice. Do you know what I mean? So Giggs' feature isn't the only one. I'm not gonna lie. I might have just enjoyed Ghetts handling all of the verses on those songs with those features. I loved Skepta's one. Oh my god, yeah, I love that. I love the Stormzy tune. That man was barring, and I Stormzy. I wish he would rap more on that type of production. I think it suits him. I loved his delivery, the lyricism, yeah, but I loved his delivery. I just loved how he was saying what he was saying. And I just enjoyed that whole track, man. That whole track was fire, bro. Ghetts was in his bag. And yeah, man, for the most part, like I do feel like, the features were well selected for what he wanted on those tracks. I just don't think they were to my personal liking.
Yeah, every one of the features did a job, for sure. I've got a hot take. Okay. People won't like this.
Okay.
This is a future classic.
Okay.
This is a future classic. I think this is the culmination of what Ghetts represents as an artist. This is him at the height of his powers. You see what it's done for the scene. It's gone number 2. How many quote-unquote grime albums do you know that go that high? I think we're going to remember this as a classic.
I feel like you said this on the Complex piece.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, you did.
I did. And I need to double back and double down. So, yeah.
Pete, where do you stand?
Why does it have to be a future classic? Doesn't have to be, but I think it will be. If you think it's too soon, then I don't know what to say to that, because I'm not like, there are definitely elements of the album that. No, I'm not even gonna say that. It's just a fucking good album, but like, I'm not gonna sit here and say that like there are parts of the album that we've never seen before, which is why people are gonna be talking about it like years from now. What makes this album so good is Ghetts himself, the way he raps, how he delivers it, and his story. That's a massive part as to why this is good too, and how he has matured into the artist he's matured into as well. But that's not enough for me to say that, this album's gonna be talked about in 10 years time. But my thing is as well, I don't think all classics have to necessarily move the culture though, and that's why. Then that's where that's a whole nother conversation, because that word is weighty, man. An album can just be a classic musically, but it doesn't have to be a classic. Cool, but it also can be a classic.
Just musically.
As much as it doesn't have to be, it also could be if it's of a high level, which I think. Yeah. I don't know. Do you know how many rock albums are classics that didn't move the scene?
I'm trying to think, in the rap scene, though, what album have we had that hasn't moved the scene as a classic?
Rock and rap ain't the same, bro.
That's why I just said rap. Which one do we have in rap?
We can't do that, man.
What album do we have in rap that didn't change the scene?
There aren't any classics in rap that are just musically amazing. Are we really saying that?
No, what I'm saying is, we don't have to use the word classic. Why are we so drawn to that word? Why does it have to be a classic? Can it not just be an amazing album? I mean, flawless album.
There are lots of amazing.
Why does it have to be a classic?
There are a lot.
And how can we? Why do we define it so quickly? It's a fucking contradiction of the actual name, like the actual definition of the word.
I mean, that's why I said future classic, by the way.
That don't even make sense.
Just on a personal standpoint, I'm with Pete on this. I do think. It's been 7 days. It's a bit too early.
Future classic don't even make sense.
Okay. It kind of does, because as soon as good,
of course it makes sense.
A future classic.
You know, I say this. There's only one album. Like Good Kid. As soon as I heard Good Kid, I said to myself, "It's a classic."
Fam, when you say future classic,
you said it's a classic. You didn't even say it was a future classic. You said it was a classic.
What, when I heard Good Kid?
Yeah.
I put everything down on the table and said it's done.
After how long?
Honestly,
yeah.
It was after like the 3rd, 4th listen.
Was that like weeks?
Oh, like no, that was within 4 or 5 days. No, I just knew what Good Kid was. It was a moment in time. You just could.
But this is what conflict of interest is for me.
I don't know if conflict is.
Yeah, that's your opinion, though.
I don't know if conflict is. We know where we were when Good Kid dropped.
Yeah.
And I love Ghetts. I'm just saying, I don't know if it's. Classic,
do you know what?
Bro.
If with all this talk, I feel like Ghetts' next album's gonna be mad. Because I feel like he's like still growing, man.
Yeah. 100%.
And I feel he's shown something on this album that I haven't gotten from him before. Like there's a musicality aspect of it that he's diving into, because we know he's nice lyrically, man. Like we've been knowing that. Ghetts has been the best. He's been one of the best for like God knows how long. Do you know what I mean? So that's not anything new, but can he show us anything more? And this album, I feel like, has shown that there's still more to come.
100%.
Because there's always that struggle with rappers that can't make complete bodies of work.
100%.
Yeah, I mean, and Ghetts has shown that, we can do it. Kane was showing that. Kano was showing that.
Yeah.
Wretch has shown hints of that. But
hints.
Yeah. I don't know, man. For someone like Ghetts, I don't know, it just feels different. It feels different because of him, because of the type of rapper that he is.
You've literally just honed in on why I think this is such an amazing album, why I think it will be that word. You've literally honed in on why.
I'm not necessarily disagreeing with you. I'm just saying that, like, it's too
soon. I'm not saying he is. I'm just saying he's literally said why I feel that this will be. Yeah, that's exactly.
I got a question.
That's what I'm saying.
I got a question.
But wait, before you ask your question, why do you, man, get so mad when, like, I'm like anti using the word?
No,
I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it. I'm not
because you, man, look at me like I'm mad.
No, I'm mad at it because there's just certain ones that. No, there's certain ones that are obvious that there's certain ones that are obvious and there's no need to refuse it. There's no need to refuse it.
You might get mad when I start like going anti-classic.
But I've never been mad at you for not wanting to use the word a lot because I understand.
No, but you, man, start looking at me like I'm anti. Just because I'm.
You are anti. You're an anti guy. Generally,
no,
that's
not
because of the word classic.
Don't do that. Not when it comes to like good music. I'm not an anti guy when it comes.
No. We're talking about generally when it comes to, like, for example, the Young Bucks and shit like that. You can be anti. So I'm not mad at you for not wanting to use the word, and I get why you do. I understand it fully. But please understand, when I use the word classic, especially in the context of a good kid or conflict of interest, that's because I mean it.
You're always the one that disagrees with classics.
And I haven't always been this way.
No, but
like I think it took it. I was feeling that way, and then I had a conversation with Rich, and then Rich started breaking it down into me in a way that, like, I was feeling, but I didn't know how to articulate. And I was like, yeah. You're fucking right, man.
No, you have every right.
Not all these people can have classics.
No, you have every right to, but I think there's just certain ones where I think when you blame it on time, it's just unnecessary. There's certain ones that we.
What do you mean?
Like, I just feel like I'm gonna keep harping back to good.
I think
like not to pimp a butterfly furthermore. Say to pimp.
One sec, Mo. Let me just get this point across.
No, cool. You're good.
I think sometimes the word classic might be used a little too literally, whereas the feeling around an album, especially after it's released or a couple of weeks after it's released, it can give you the feeling of, okay, this is a classic. Whereas some people might say, well, it's a bit too early. And they're using the term classic a little too literal in that sense. So that kind of kills whatever argument that you might have for something being a future classic in that respect, because it can't be a future classic because that doesn't make sense, or you need to give it more time when you can't really fight a feeling that people have, you know what I'm saying? And that's why people think that fucking Man on the Moon is a classic. People think that Finding Rich is a classic. You know what I'm saying? It's the feeling that they get from it. You can't tell anybody how to feel. So if they feel that something's a classic, even if you don't think it is, then you've just got to be like, okay, yeah, these are different opinions that we have. Like, the word classic doesn't mean to me what it means to you. It's down to opinion. It's down to feeling.
I would hope that people are talking about this album 20 years from now when it goes down as a classic. I would love that. Ghetts, for as much as he's put into the game, he deserves that. Do you know what I mean? But I don't know, man. Top 3 Selected is a classic.
Top 3 Selected is a classic. Ghetto Gospel's a classic. Mixtape.
No, I'm listening.
Not mad. See, I'm not mad at that.
Okay, now, so he's got a classic mixtape.
Yes.
He's got a classic song.
Yes.
He's got a classic album, in your opinion, or potential to be one.
Mm-hmm.
What does this album do for his legacy?
I think we've already known him as one of the best rappers that the UK has ever had. I think now this just adds to his legacy of someone who not only can be one of the greatest rappers, but arguably one of our greatest artists. I think with album after album, his artistry is growing to a point where it's undeniable. And I think when all is said and done, not only for this album, but for Ghetts, he's going to continue to show why he is all throughout, like the whole package, like one of our very, very best. So this album only adds to that, I think. It might even be the beginning of a new stage for Ghetts, in the sense where the artistry and the lyricism and the complete package are just on a new tandem. And with the next album and the next album to follow that, it's only going to get higher and higher.
Yeah, I agree with everything Yemi just said, in a sense, man. It's tough for me, man, because like of how highly I rate Kano in it. Kano's always going to be my number one, man. Like, Ghetts is so good though. He's so good, but like I just can't. He just won't. He performs at that level to be considered the best. I understand why somebody would say that, yo, he's the best ever, but because of how highly I rate Kane, it's very difficult for me to put Ghetts up there. But this album just, I don't know, man, it sets him up for that next phase of, you know, Ghetts, really. I feel like the last album and this album is just going to start helping him shape the legacy as being like an album artist. Do you know what I mean? As opposed to like a mixtape artist or, you know what I mean? Just, do you know what I mean? Just an MC's MC. I feel like the artistry of it is just going to take him to another level.
For me, personally, it's a two-part answer in a certain degree. What I think it does for Ghetts, generally, I think it propels him to, if he wasn't in everyone's top 3 before, I think it propels him to kind of everyone's top 3, top 4. Generally, across the consensus, if you know rap, I feel like in the UK, he'll be amongst everyone's top 3, top 4. Just on a personal level, the same way you are with Kane, I'm with Wretch. Wretch is always going to be number 1 for me. No one's ever going to overthrow that. I don't care what you do, bro. You can give me 100 of these albums. But Ghetts is just different with it. It's so hard to explain. He's different with it. Like, I feel like Ghetts is your favorite rapper's favorite rapper. In my heart, I honestly believe he's all of these rappers' favorite rapper. I believe he's Skepta's favorite rapper. I believe he's Wretch's favorite rapper. I believe do you know what I mean? Everyone just loves what Ghetts does.
Definitely Kane's favorite rapper.
Do you know what I mean? Though he just because he comes up and shows up, so like everyone knows what to expect from him. So I think it propels him into top 3 conversation with everyone. He's in my top 3, easy, without thinking twice. Well, he's in my top 4, top 3.
There were parts of the album when I felt like he feels like he deserves more accolades.
I think he does.
I think he feels like that.
Because I'm trying to remember the bar. Hold on, did I write it down?
But I think now he's setting himself up to get those accolades, because there's only so many accolades you're going to get on mixtapes or, you know, just going on radio. You know what I'm saying? There's a certain level that you get to as far as critical, commercial, respecting the scene, respecting the streets, by producing a quality body of work. And that's what I think is happening for him now, and it's going to continue to happen.
I didn't write it down, but like he had a few bars on like Autobiography again, where I don't know, man, he was giving me that vibe that I don't know if he feels underappreciated, or I don't know if he feels as though for what he's given to the game, he should be in a different space. I want to paraphrase the bar, but it was basically along the lines of like the facts that like he's giving so much to the shit and he can still walk around freely. And I don't remember. I think it was on Autobiography, but like I don't know. It just kind of made me feel like he wants more. Yeah, he feels like he deserves more. And I feel him. Because he's done it all, man. He's like, I think if you look at if you wanted to model your career, a grime MC wanted to model their career on another artist, I think he would like be the prototype, man. You know what I mean? Being respected lyrically, you know what I mean? Having wars, do you know what I mean? And having been successful within those wars, just always being known for like being like, you know, a consistent performer lyrically as well. Being able to like venture out and try new things and showing more of your artistry and then starting to get respect for that as well. That's what most grime MCs would want.
Outside of art, the growth we see in Ghetts a person as well makes us buy into his story more.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You've seen Ghetts from 15 years ago to now, how he is now. The way he looks, the way he dresses, the way he talks. You just everything about him. Naturally, he's grown up. Do you know what I mean? And it resonates in his music.
Yeah, and that's another thing we got to remember about these grime MCs. A lot of them started out young. They weren't artists. They weren't people. Like, they just grew. Life got in the way for a lot of them. And they're now regurgitating that in their music. And they're showing how mature they are, and they're showing how mature their life experiences have been and all that as well. So as they grow, their music's going to grow. And as a result, their stature's going to grow. That's just the way it is.
And as they continue to grow as well, they're growing with the times as well. And I feel like a lot of them are, you know, they have way more knowledge of self as well.
Oh, here we go.
Because even on like the song with Skepta, IC3, he had a
great MP.
He had a bar where he was like, don't tell me to go back to where I'm from, while the queen sits in the throne with stolen jewels. I'll go back with a chain on. I light up a place like Akon. Do you know what I mean? Huh?
Was that Skepta?
That was Ghetts.
Oh, that was Ghetts.
Do you know what I mean? So like, just little things like that just lets me know that like, you know what, he's got pride on like who he is, and he's learning more about, you know, himself and his worth, and you know, us as black young men should also do the same shit. Do you know what I mean? So just sprinkling in little things like that, and I don't know if I've got that from Ghetts in previous projects.
All the rappers done that though. They had a verse where he talked about the way they treat us over here. The Skepta had a bar when he talked about the Queen giving him a MB and
same tune.
So they all kind of.
As soon as they told me about the power that came with the black skin, unlocked it and I tapped in. I bet Peter loved that one.
Yeah, that was a bar. But I still like the crowd though. Like whenever Skepta gets in, he's going in back. I know I'm getting, and I know I get gas.
Bro, I want to flip my laptop.
He was like, go on and draw for the shitty.
Bro,
but it started raining down like confetti. I was fam.
I don't think these
gun fingers, mad gun fingers in my PJs, bro.
They don't understand. They don't know what going in means. They didn't live through. You know that viral tweet.
Who's they?
You know that viral.
These youngins, innit?
No, you know that viral tweet that goes around. You had to be there. You know that?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, you had to be there when Skepta originally went, go on in, think I'm a fool.
Yeah.
Stuff like, oh, come on.
Yeah, for real.
You had to be there. I want to throw my laptop out the window.
Yeah, man.
I want to throw my laptop.
Bruv.
When he said confetti, I wanted to dash shit.
Yo, when Ghetts was like, from when I was a teenager, people say that ain't seen paper. Year 9, bare crime. What?
It made me
man. Talk. Yo, I'm all for mature Ghetts. Yeah, I love it. As black men, I love it. Let's grow, let's elevate. But you know what I mean? Sometimes I love that crowd.
Save the time for some.
And Ghetts like, I don't know, there's something about the way he does it that's just so authentic.
I think it's his voice, man.
You know what I mean? It's so authentic, man.
You believe every word he's saying.
Yeah.
For sure. Like he's actually done some madness.
I need to understand like what his process is, because like just from like a nerdy lyrical standpoint, it's mad. If you really just like, if you read his bars like, and then like just listen to like, it's mad. It's mad, man. Like it's mad. I've got way more bars I could geek out on, but I'm mature because we need to move on.
Boy. Yeah, I know you do. Yeah, salute to Ghetto, salute to Justin Clark.
Just one more, please. Just one more.
I was just 19, but gone twice my age. I was like, all right, cool.
Before I ever knew about Robert Greene, I knew about Robin
Scheme.
Wait, say that bar.
What?
I was 19. Say that bar again.
I was just 19, but gone twice my age.
I just got a 38 revolver. Fuck off.
Bro, it's fun because I was
38 revolver. It's 38.
Mohammed.
Are you mad?
Mohammed. Don't look at me when you do that.
Come on, fam.
Yeah, when he on that's on Skeng Man, isn't it?
Yeah.
I was listening to it on the way here. I was like, yo, yeah, he's going, man.
I remember that.
What?
Suck whose mum? Which one of you said that?
Nah.
Did he have a bar? There was one bar on the album. He said something about Ashanti, and then there's an ad-lib going.
Oh, that's still good food.
It's still good food though.
Yeah, still good food.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, we could be here all day. But
I'm telling you, man.
Shout out to Ghetts and everyone. Listen to Conflict of Interest. Download it, stream it, do whatever you need to do, and let's get this guy number 1 if we can. Let's move on to the next topic. So what we want to do now is we kind of want to go back in time, and we want to take you to.
Want to go way back.
Yeah,
back into
like,
time.
Like 20 years ago.
God damn.
Early 2000s, was it?
Yeah.
And this is
I'll go crazy. If you take your love away from me, I'll go. You know, that's where that's from. I'll go way back into time. Wait, you man don't know that. So you man are lost, man.
So yeah, we want to talk about.
You man are lost.
We want to take it back to the streets of South London. It's the late 90s, early 2000s. This is before grime. This is right in the halcyon days of UK garage.
Wait, can I play the tune though?
Yeah.
Because I need you man to get it. Hold on.
Can we not get it? And
you know what's in my head right now?
What?
They don't know about my crew. They don't know about my.
This episode's a mess.
They don't know about my. In it. Who is it?
Black Sheep.
Oh come on, man! Why are we gonna know that?
Play it.
Do I even know another Backstreet song other than No Diggity?
But
Yeah. I'm pretty sure at the beginning of that, it was like, we're going to go way back.
Why on earth would I know?
Tupac. Yeah.
There you go.
All right, sorry,
I
guys.
recognize that though. But yeah, this is the golden days of UK garage. You know, artists are coming up, going up through radio sets. You know, big parties, going up the charts, and it was towards like 2000, 2001 where there was a darker side of garage coming into the fore. It wasn't so much two-step, but it was more so the prototype of what grime would be. And this was represented by groups such as Heartless Crew, Pay As You Go. But the one that we want to talk about today is So Solid Crew. Arguably one of the most influential artists that the UK has ever had as far as, rap, anything rap is concerned. So I guess what we would do today is we kind of want to examine the legacy of So Solid. Romeo, Mega Man, Lisa Mafia, Asher D, Swiss, all them man.
Scat D.
And we basically want to talk about how important...
Anyone know the man that sang the chorus in 21 seconds?
Keish.
I didn't know.
I don't have a clue.
Boy, salute to our historian, Peter.
Yeah.
Our So Solid historian.
How do you know that?
I was a massive So Solid fan.
You can run this.
No, I'm not even going to run it. Sorry, Yem, let Yem finish.
We want to talk about how important that So Solid crew are, not only to the scene generally, but just UK rap and how far UK rap / hip hop has come in their wake, basically. So yeah, now you can go off.
Oh man, I think they're very important, man. I feel like they were the first. I want to say the first. I think they presented street music to the mainstream in a way in which, without them, the way the more contemporary artists now do music and the way they present it to the masses now would be very different. They essentially were the first to do a lot of shit, man. They were the first to be blackballed. They were the first black rap group, garage group, whatever you want to call them, to chart. Do you know what I mean? Stop with the early accolades and stuff, sell records, singles, and they bust down the door. Do you know what I mean? I feel like what they did as well was very important for what we would end up seeing with grime as well. And I once heard Wiley say that whoever made "Oh No, That's the Word" was the first person to make a grime tune. So you could also, there's two parts of it. You can examine what they did for grime music, and then you can look at what they did for just the UK scene in total. For me, I grew up on So Solid, man. Do you know what I mean? I remember the first time I saw a TT was in, I feel like it was in Ride With Us. Do you know what I mean? When Mega Man was, you know what I mean?
An Audi TT.
Yeah, that was the first time I'd ever seen that. Do you know what I mean? So,
what a random memory.
No, look how happy he looks. This guy is...
No, I remember that because
smiling.
that whole video I just thought was just glitz and glamour in it. It just looked mad expensive. And I just remembered, I think that was the first time I saw Alexis as well. So Solid just have mad memories due to So Solid. But before I start geeking out, I want to obviously give you man a chance to say a couple of things, but yeah, man, I feel like they're very important though, man. I feel like without them, the scene would look very different, man, because they took a lot of hits, as far as their brand goes, as far as their career goes, not even in order, but because they took those hits, I feel like other people were able to thrive.
100%. Mohammed?
My earliest memory from So Solid So Solid was the first UK CD I ever had.
Really?
Yeah, ever. UK wise. From my memory. I had Craig David.
Of course you did.
Solid. And that was my earliest memory from them. And I remember what always stood out with me was, do you remember their Mobile Awards performance?
Yeah.
That was to me a moment when they come and they done the Mobile Awards, because yo, we're there. You see us. We're making the music we want. We're talking shit the way we want. We're flamboyant the way we want. Do you know what I mean? It's just yo, we finally arrived. But I think without So Solid,
you lose a lot of street music that come from the UK, man.
I was just you cannot put a percentage on it. Without So Solid, you have no one to look to. Salute to Heartless Crew, but
I didn't grow up on Heartless Crew.
Yeah, the Heartless
Crew.
They came to school once. Yeah, when I was in year 4. Heartless gonna do it right. Salute to them. they were cool.
Respect Heartless
Crew.
No,
respect them, but So Solid energy was different. When you take the time out to know each member, the way Peter did, that is a ridiculous.
Keish.
Who the hell knows Keish?
Don't do that.
Sounds like a wheat strain.
Don't do that.
It does, doesn't it?
But
salute to Keish.
Whatever we say is a disservice for the amount they gave us, because they have the most. They've given us. They are the pioneers of this shit. Of at least they're there on the Mount Rushmore of people that have given us stuff and we've benefited from them UK music wise. They're on the Mount Rushmore. So Solid Crew out there.
Fam, they a lot of, obviously you have the US influence over our scene as well, man, but for the way they did it, man, we had never really seen that before.
Never.
There's a way in which they even just the street aspect of it, and I want to hone in on that, man, because a lot of our UK rappers and grime MCs, man, a lot of them claim to be from the street, so a lot of them rap about, you know, that perspective. But without So Solid, I don't think they would have been able to, man, because like So Solid were the first ones to do that, and even though they got a lot of flack and critique, still be accepted by like the masses.
That was success to us.
Yeah,
To
100.
us,
That is success.
No, that is success. But I'm just saying, to us, no matter what happened, after 21 seconds, even though they've still done well,
bro.
But the minute 21 became 21, you succeeded no matter what you do from here on out. Do you know what I mean? You've now given us enough.
Yeah, they gave us essentially a pop hit that that was danceable, that was memorable as far as lines and the chorus and stuff. Romeo's verse, Ashadee's verse, everything. And even though they were talking about the street life, it was something that you could dance to. And they were one of the first to do that.
Do we know if they were the first act to be signed? First, like, rap garage act to be signed?
I doubt it.
Okay.
Maybe garage, but I doubt it.
Right,
like there were rappers probably getting signed to any kind of label before then. Maybe not majors, but signed generally.
Yeah.
But
I think Blazing Squad got signed around them.
Before them? No, they wouldn't have. But I feel you.
What was around them?
Blazing Squad?
Yeah.
After.
Blazing Squad was round about six. Bro, I was in primary school when Blazing
I don't think Blazing Squad is around the same time as So Solid, bro.
I'm sure within a year.
Within a year?
We were like in year 5 when fucking 21 Seconds came out.
And Blazing Squad, we was not in secondary school when Blazing Squad came out.
Are you sure?
1000%. I was not singing Blazing Squad in secondary school. I would have got robbed.
I didn't anticipate Blazing Squad being mentioned on this episode.
But just came to my head. But we can continue, sorry.
No, I mean, just to very briefly sum up what I think they mean to the scene. They're the godfathers, man. They're the godfathers in a lot of ways for not just grime, but, you know, rap-based UK music in general. Because like Peter said, they broke down a lot of barriers. I feel like in terms of rapping, they basically, maybe not improved, but they excelled and they advanced the art of MCing as far as the UK is concerned. That would then lead to people like Wiley and the grime generation to just kind of take their blueprint and kind of take what they were doing production-wise, because what they were doing at the time, it was known as grimy garage, which then lent itself to grime music. And even Pay As You Go did a song called No We, which, you know, arguably could be one of the first grime tunes as well. It kind of had that feel, you know, that production type style. But So Solid were right there, man. They brought, like you said, they brought street culture to the masses. Their presentation was like none other, you know, from the videos to what they were wearing, to the album covers, everything like that. They did a lot for the scene, man. They did a lot for the scene. Tracks like Oh No, They Don't Know, Dilemma.
Envy.
You know what I mean?
Bro, there was a good, like, I want to say, there was a period between like early 2000s, between like 2001, maybe 2000 to like 2003, where it was a bit mad because like you had Oxide and Neutrino, and I don't even know if they were actually in the group or they were just associates, but you had like them. They dropped Bound for the Reload, which was massive. You know what I mean? And I feel like around that time was when 21 Seconds might have dropped too. And then I feel like Oxide had another tune as well. I don't know if it was Rap This. It might have been, I can't remember the other. There might have been another song as well that was charting like crazy too. But it feels like So Solid were like all over the charts at a particular time. Yeah,
they definitely had a run that, you know, was really unprecedented for the time, because obviously there weren't that many black artists that were so visible. Well, not rap artists anyway, that were as visible as So Solid during the time. So they kind of had a monopoly on that, even though they had contemporaries that were doing their thing. Obviously, Heartless, Pay As You Go, they weren't doing it to the same level as far as commercial success, critical success. And I think another thing about So Solid's appeal was to hone in on the street culture a little bit more. The whole garage scene generally, like there were a lot of like movers and shakers from the streets in that scene. So they were now getting a reflection and a representation of that through So Solid. And obviously we know about all the legal issues and stuff, but
they were very, very authentic.
Very, very authentic.
Very authentic.
Very authentic. I think maybe not So Solid necessarily, but, you know, garage raves, they'd be like...
No, So Solid were very authentic.
Okay, thank you.
So Solid were about
yeah, I know that, but my point...
You're saying the actual environment.
No, my point was going to be that I don't know if there's been an event that So Solid performed that where there were gunshots or like any kind of like attempted...
So Solid?
Yeah.
You don't know if they were?
Yeah.
Bro, like, you know, like there were discussions within Parliament to like ban So Solid, bro.
Didn't
That's
they ban them though,
that's
bro?
you know So Solid. That's essentially what happened. That was pretty much. I don't know if this is staying in, but
Ashadi
that
got
was
banned
pretty.
for a while,
That was pretty much the demise of the group because they were just having so many legal issues. There was a lot of shootings at their gigs. There was an incident in Birmingham where 2 young girls got killed. Do you know what I mean? And there was every time they would have a show, somebody would like there'd be some sort of violence, whether it's one of the members of So Solid getting into a fight or just other members. So there was a lot of issues, and that's why like I feel it's quite interesting when we look at like all the criticism that drill gets. Like So Solid, I feel like were the first ones from our community to deal with that because they essentially dealt with their bags being stopped. They were banned from like numerous venues. Venue stopped trying to book them because of all the legal issues. And then they had other street stuff which, you know, led to like, you know, people like Ashadi, you know, spending time in prison, and, you know, Mega and, you know, another member of So Solid dealing with legal issues who's actually in prison at the moment. So there was a lot of like legal shit. That's essentially what stops their run.
So in a sense, that sort of stuff kind of propelled them to where they were, and then at the same time, it kind of like stopped them in their tracks in a sense.
You mean the street stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. You could say that. You could say that. Yeah, it was.
They needed authenticity, and then authenticity also played a part in the downfall as well.
Yeah, because again, like for the country at large, this was new. Like even though like obviously street shit it's not a new thing, but it's the first time via So Solid that the masses are seeing it so vividly. They're seeing it so clearly. It's so visible to them, and that's what obviously scared a lot of people. And again, this would, you know, it would follow with grime, it would follow with drill as well. So inadvertently, So Solid are kind of like the reason for that.
Yeah, because I feel like if all of that was to happen today, it would be a completely different outcome. They may be even bigger because it's difficult to be blackballed nowadays, especially where we've got the online aspect of it, and a lot of artists are independent anyway. So if like they dealt with all of those controversial issues back then today, it'll be way different.
100%. I believe that as well. So yeah, they had to break down a lot of doors, not only from a musical standpoint, but also from a cultural standpoint, to where, you know, people know that this shit exists and it's going on and stuff as well. And
it kind of felt like when they were going through what they were going through, that might have been the first time in which like the white masses were paying attention to our music as well, because of all the because there were newspapers left, right, and center. So, you know, they were getting a lot of criticism in that. So of course it was going to attract attention, and there was going to be like mad different eyes. Do you know what I mean? So that might have been one of the, even though it was like negative as far as what happened to them, for the sake of like the culture, the scene, it might have worked out to be a positive because it started bringing people into like, you know, our world and our music.
Yeah, 100%. And even though their run was, for all intents and purposes, it was kind of brief, even though there was a lot going on, you know, we're only really now seeing the impact of it now, as far as like what they were really able to do with how little they had, the kind of people that they birthed afterwards as well. Like, you won't necessarily say that, oh, they created grime, but if you listen back to the music, you listen back to early grime, there's no real difference between what's going on, because they were rapping the same way pretty much. Maybe the first grime MCs were rapping a little bit faster, but generally all them man in So Solid were basically the prototypes, and that's another reason why they're so important as well.
And we just haven't really seen many groups do what they did. Like you had you know, the founding member Mega Man, and he was like the RZA of the group. And then you had like you had Romeo, who was, you know, I guess catered to like the women. You had him and Harvey, who the women would like. And then you had Lisa Mafia, who, you know, was that feminine energy within the group. You had Oxide and Neutrino, like Ghost and Ray, if you want. Do you know what I mean? So like, I feel like even nowadays you don't really see groups do what they did, especially in the UK. You don't really see groups coming from our scene, branching off solo and doing all right. And I feel like, and that's why I rate Mega Man so much. And I feel like his man management of that group isn't spoken about enough.
I think that's a rarity though, for that many people. For that many people to succeed from one group as well, it's not easy.
That's a rarity period.
Yeah, because like Lisa Mafia had a song that charted, Romeo had a song that charted.
Ashadi's making
Ashadi's like, yeah, he's a
TV show
superstar now. You know what I mean, acting star. You know what I mean? And that's from that group. I feel like even with Ashley, like, because he did Bullet Boy, I think whilst he was still in So Solid, but just seeing an actor come from like, you know, the rap world in the UK, I don't think we had seen that up until that point.
Because he was also in Get Rich. I remember he was in Get Rich at that time very early, and that was like,
yeah. So even the influence,
you're our guy.
Yeah. So even the influence on like things, but programs such as like, dub plate drama. Do you know what I mean? And then Top Boy, it's all coming from. I'm not gonna say Solid are responsible, but
it's the stem from their
that family, that branch, innit? Do you know what I mean? And yeah, man, we gotta give kudos to that.
He's definitely the first rapper that we've seen act in terms of
in the UK.
In terms of we grew up on, if that makes sense. We grew up cool. We put it this way. Actually, he's the first rapper we saw in the UK. We saw the start of his rapping career and then move into an actor.
Yeah,
we didn't catch him in the middle. Do you know what I mean? Like there could have been previous people where we caught in the middle. Oh, they used to rap back in the day. But like we saw actually start as a rapper, transition to acting, and kill it.
Would you man say that they're, because of how short their run was, it kind of plays against them when we talk about their legacy?
It's legalities, like you said, it's legal issues.
To be honest,
but Mo, on that point though, if we're being very nitpicky and we break it down, because that second album for me, I didn't enjoy the second album, and it was them steering away from the sounds that I guess made them popular. So you can really say that they only had one album that really impacted like that.
Really and truly, I feel like they would have been phased out if they continued. Because
why'd you say that?
Because to what you're saying about the second album, I've never listened to the second album.
It's very Neptunesy.
Yeah, I think that wouldn't have, because I think they caught lightning in the bottle with the They Don't Know album.
Yeah.
Because obviously 21 Seconds, it was still very much the height of UK garage, and UK garage itself, by the time grime came into the game, it was all but dead really. So they probably felt like they had to venture, but with that, not only may have they lost a little bit of what made them so great, but they were also being subsumed by what was going on in grime. Obviously, Boy in the Corner came out, you know, Home Sweet Home was soon to follow and stuff, and grime was just a new, fresh thing. So I don't know if they would have been able to survive in that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
and a lot of their members weren't really there. Because on that second album, a lot of the members that we know that were more prominent on the first album weren't really on the second album like that. You know what I mean? I think Mega Man only appeared on like a few songs. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like he might have been dealing with like the legal issues at the time as well. But you can definitely tell the difference. The music felt different, and it probably is links to what was going on around that time. Because on that second album, they really had like decided, you know what, we're gonna do this rap thing. It's not even the garage thing no more. Do you know what I mean? And like UK rap at the time wasn't really that existent. Do you know what I mean? Especially where like, you know, Dizzy was just coming through as well. So we were leaning more towards the grime type of.
Does the second album sound American?
Yeah, man. Sounds very Neptune's influence, bro. And I heard that Mega Man had spent some time in Virginia as well, so it kind of makes sense. But very Neptune's influence. You never know what the record label said as well, though. Huh?
The record label might have been like.
That confirms to me that they probably wouldn't have lasted much longer, to be honest. Even if they.
But you could give them credit for that, though. You can give them credit for having the confidence and the bravery to try that. Because now, I feel like if they were to try it now, or someone tried it now, we won't look at them like we did.
But my thing is, though, with that, by the time they released their second album, was that like 02, 03?
Yeah, around that time, yeah.
Obviously, grime is a thing. It's very quintessentially British, you know, British sounding in a sense. It's not in any way catering. And obviously the Streets dropped, Roots Maneuver dropped. None of these are like catering to that sound. So I'm having a hard time thinking they would really cut through all that with something that sounds so much like they're catering to somewhere that doesn't even give a fuck about us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so because I feel like people started to phase out anyway. By the second album, I phased out with So Solid Crew.
Yeah, because the only single from that second album was Broken Silence.
Yeah, so by then I was already slowly, and then More Fire came out. Oh yeah, and then that's when I lost my mind.
Yeah, I think it's just a thing where they had their time and that was it. You know what I'm
saying? I mean, but like you said, you see, because as soon as they stopped making music, More Fire came with Oi. So you could see straight away the impact they had in some. Do you know what I mean? Like as soon as they stopped music, we had this group now rapping what they're rapping about. Do you know what I mean? It's like it didn't take long. We didn't need 15, 20 years to see So Solid's impact. We saw it within 365 days. So it's like I don't know if we'll ever get to that point there where you can have a pioneer like them. I don't know if that's ever gonna happen again. But they deserve all their flowers.
They're very important, man. I don't think I'm surprised we haven't even really seen like many more groups come from our scene, and in that sort of mold. Maybe not as many members, but just where, because like, you know, like Lisa Matthew was like, she actually was doing a thing. Do you know what I mean? So like, I'm surprised that we haven't really had that that we ain't had another group.
I feel like we're starting to see more groups now, though.
I mean, not in that respect.
In what, like that though?
There's like 160 members of Soul Solid.
No,
you know
but that's
what
just childish. Like, I love Soul Solid. They could have.
But how many of them rapped though? I don't know. Do you know what I mean?
Let's be honest. They could have capped that at 9, 8.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Let's never try to disrespect them. So it should be childish. But in terms of rap groups, I feel like we're starting to see more rap groups now than we did before.
You say rap groups though, maximum 4 people, right? Not even 4, maybe even 3.
How many is it? Is it 6, 7?
Oh, that's 4 or 5. But even them, they had their time, and now they're kind of like not fell off or anything, but they're kind of like in a low period.
Section Boys, there was a lot of them.
There was a lot of them, but these are not okay. I see what you mean, but in no way have they reached the same level.
I'm not comparing the two at all. I'm saying because Peter was like, have we seen groups since?
Well, we've seen groups make an impact.
Literally naming bro, I do not listen to 6, 7. Never. I'm just saying. They were a group along.
All right, so you're just saying that there are more groups doing their thing.
Yeah.
But even then, it's still like a handful, 6, 7 Section Boys. Are we counting duos as groups? D Block, Skendo and AM, I suppose.
What's the other two? And they had a viral song. Young T and
Bugsy. I suppose that might be a little bit of a stretch for me. Like, I might not necessarily give them that, but So Solid, I mean. But at the same time, as far as their presentation, I don't think we're going to see anything like that again.
Because even with the videos, man, even their videos were very we just hadn't seen that, man. Like even I still don't feel like we've seen videos like So Solid's come from our scene till now,
bro.
Like from 21 seconds, like I remember watching that. I was so like perplexed as to what the fuck I was listening to and what I was watching. I couldn't, because I rewatched it recently. There was a lot going on there, but it was just so dope. We don't really see that creativity like that nowadays.
They had the first rap quotable. I don't care what no one says in the UK. 2 multiplied by 10 plus 1. Romeo done. That is the first UK rap. Tell me I'm wrong. UK rap quotable. That is the first UK rap bar.
Oh shit.
That went everywhere. And I'm talking about TV, news, hood shit, fucking Big Brother, whatever.
For a lot of us, and
that's deep. Obviously, I never even deep that. Yeah.
Multiplied by 10. What? Man had doing algebra, bro. You know what verse I used to say? I used to rap all of their verse. There was one I used to leave out.
Who?
Man like the devil worshiper.
Yeah. Yo, he was bugging.
Who's the devil worshiper?
That's Face, innit?
Who's the devil worshiper?
Face.
When he goes,
he was like,
red is my blessed colour.
So Solid Vampire. See me on the telly,
Face getting popular. What? Some sort of shit, you know.
No disrespect to
I mean, there's a lot of quotables in that song.
Worship the... Red is my best. Yo, we all left that part out though, man. He was bugging.
And the Scandi comes and floats.
Yeah, he was bugging. You don't know. You don't know. Yeah. Run the show. If you don't know, please let me know. Scandi no snitch. No need to go to the course to get rich.
I had to slay on my mate.
And get rich all day long. Nah, they were bugging out on that tune, man.
And then that light skinned guy comes with no shirt on and starts singing 21 seconds. With these little dumb X-ray.
Don't do that.
But this is important because for obviously our generation, I feel like a lot of generations like us, as far as UK goes, So Solid is our foundation. Like these are the first rappers that we really discovered. You don't really remember much of a
these
time
before. These men were superstars to us.
Before So Solid.
They were it. They were literally it at one point growing up.
Asher D, I think I said this in the earlier podcast. He was probably my first favorite UK rapper. Like I was just in awe. Especially when I heard They Don't Know. I was in awe. I couldn't, my mind was like blown as to what I'm seeing right now. And just the sound. It was just mad. I just never seen anything like that before. So they were very instrumental in a lot of my early like rap experiences.
I remember when I heard, what song was it with Dynamite?
They Don't Know. Remix.
Yeah. The remix, innit?
And they even put, they introduced me to Miss Dynamite.
They introduced me to Miss Dynamite.
Yeah.
I remember the first time hearing the remix on that.
Yeah.
It's mad.
Yeah,
and we forget, everyone think Miss Dynamite, you even forget the correlation. Do you know what I mean? It's stupendous.
She's from that tree.
It's stupendous, bro.
Yeah. And you gotta remember, like, from that tree, obviously she won a Mercury Prize and who she is, Asher D, who he is. Yeah. You know, all of that. They're like very, 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 very seminal people. Like
even and Swiss Cry. I'll argue with anybody that's not one of the greatest UK rap songs to ever be recorded. Because I feel that strongly about that song. But Swiss is so solid. Did you know he was Mega Man's brother?
I did not.
I had no idea. But yeah, that he's so solid. That song is still, I think it's still quite pivotal within our scene. I feel like a lot of
classic?
Huh?
Is it a classic?
Yeah, 100%.
For you.
But yeah, I feel like a lot of street rappers as well, and a lot of conscious rap, I feel like borrow elements of that tune as well. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like even though when that song came out, So Solid weren't who they were and they pretty much weren't really active, that song kind of didn't continue the legacy, but it's definitely a part of it.
I used to bring the CD to, bro, true story, yeah? I remember it was either year 5 or year 6, leaving day. Man brought the CD into school, teacher allowed me to play it.
Mm-hmm.
So gassed. Only one in my class knew every single word to 21 seconds. I felt like a superstar. I literally felt like I'm sorry.
I still know the majority of that,
bro,
of the words to that song, man.
I think I know that song word for word.
It's mad.
It's amazing.
It's mad. Even Lisa Matthews bit.
Come on now.
So got 20. Yeah, nah, man.
So Solid Vampire, see me in the telly.
Okay, I get it.
I feel like if I met them, I would probably still be a bit starstruck, man. Because I would just revert back to that young,
not all of them.
that young fan. Asher D, Mega Man,
Romeo
Swiss, Harvey, all of them.
Yeah.
Lisa if I met Lisa Mafia, I don't think I'd be able to talk. Because like she was like one of my earliest like celebrity crushes too. So they were very, they were very important for my like childhood.
They were my child. Like they,
You know what I mean?
they have a place. Do you know what I mean? When I said, you know when they've got a place in my childhood. Like I remember listening to them every day. Do you know what I mean? You just remember when you was a kid listening to these man every day and just thinking,
Yeah.
Who do you think was the best rapper in So Solid?
who's the best rapper?
Or your favorite?
Favorite's gonna be Asher.
Okay.
Favorite's gonna be
Yeah.
Asher. Asher D was my favorite in general. Bro.
Yeah.
Like just everything Asher D done, I used to fuck with.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's because that street shit, but I used to just fuck
Yeah,
with
yeah,
Asher.
yeah.
Yeah, it's Asher D.
Yeah.
What about for you?
Asher D as well. Scat D. I loved Scat D, man. Scat D was hard,
feel
man.
like Lisa Mafia
Why are
was
you
a couple
watching me? Why are you clocking me? Why are you? Nah, let me not even get into my bag. But yeah, I loved Scat D. Yeah, him and Asher D for me. Do you know what I mean? But Mega Man just always looked so cool to me, man.
He's the head honcho, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
You could tell he's the head, the way he carries himself.
Yeah, when I was listening to Ride With Us like the other day, like the intro to that song was a bit spooky, man, because like obviously I've heard like stuff behind the scenes, like the street stuff. I've like heard stories and that. But that song, like the intro to that song, he's like talking to like haters and doubters and all of that. And like just those words just kind of like, I don't know, man, it just fit what I've heard. Do you know what I mean? So it kind of was a bit spooky.
I feel like they obviously represented a moment in time and they ushered in what would be the next phase of UK rap-based music as well. So
If they didn't have the legal issues, you still feel like they would have been phased out?
Yeah, I think it was going towards.
it was getting there.
I think they would have been able to adapt though, man.
We would never know. It's a guessing game, bro.
If they had all of them in their full strength, no legal issues, you don't feel like they would have been able to do it together?
Doing stuff like their second album.
I feel like they would have. I don't think their second album would have been their second album if they didn't have the legal issues, though. Obviously, it's difficult to say, but I feel like
They would have been
where you've got like key members, you know, having issues with the law and that. I don't know. I just don't feel like that second album would have been what it was.
Well, they definitely wouldn't have been able to do Garage because Garage was dead by that point. So what else are they going to do? They're going to do Grime?
Maybe.
I doubt it. I doubt they're going to do Grime. Even though they're doing quote-unquote grimy Garage, it's still not quite the same as Grime. So they would have been like the old niggas in the club in that respect. Not that they were old, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I get what you're
So I don't necessarily think they would have been able to adapt to grime. I think the only other route would have been either like more traditional hip hop or what they were doing with the second album, which wouldn't have been conducive to in any way settling in. They would have still had their fan base and stuff, but it just wouldn't have been the same, I don't think, even with full strength. But even with that, at their prime, they were able to birth what they've birthed, you know what I'm saying? So for that, like, they're definitely one of the GOATs. As far as groups go, they're probably the GOAT group
They're the
in
GOAT
the UK.
group.
In the UK.
Yeah, definitely.
They're in that conversation for sure,
I think they're the GOAT group.
even in the GOAT.
Look how much we've just said about them.
Because there's still a lot of people that haven't done what they did, even till now.
Yeah, you're not giving me another group that done what they've done. Put down the seeds that we've put down.
And for those listening that, you know, aren't familiar with So Solid, like, check out They Don't Know, man. It's a very important album. that kind of set up even the grime scene to be what it is. So
And Romeo gave me Soul Gravy. Come on,
So
and
gravy.
Soul Gravy, baby.
With Christina
Remember
Milian.
when they used to say, and then I mean this way. Oh, that song was a bit of a banger, you know.
even that move right there was quite important for what I think the Tin Cheeks and them man would attempt to do with crossing over, attempting to cross over. That might have been one of the earliest examples of that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? In a blatant way. And I'm not taking anything away from him, Romeo artistically and that song artistically, but there was a blatant attempt at crossing over.
Oh, that was 1,000%.
Yeah, but we had never seen that before. Like, what's crossing over? We didn't know nothing about that. Yeah, I mean, I didn't.
I love the song though. It's the vibes to it.
At the time, I remember vibing to it.
Yeah. I ain't gone back to it in years.
Yeah.
I think I've gone back to it like 6 months ago.
And it's of the time, innit?
And they were in a predicament no one's ever been in. They were the first hood man to make it.
And that's
So they
bro,
don't
that's so
know.
important though,
Whereas
man.
now, Dave knows how to navigate through it because he's seen people navigate through it. You're the first one. You don't know how to.
Yeah.
Bro, and that
You don't know what line to toe. Does that make sense?
and that hood element is so important, bro,
Yeah.
because a lot of these rappers today couldn't do it. If it wasn't for them, man, they wouldn't have been able to do it, man. It's so important.
It's only now that
So
they know how to
important,
navigate through it. Because
Yeah,
of the mistakes that. people might
100%.
make. Or even or even gigs. Like when gigs got blackballed, they tried to say they don't.
Yeah, so solid. Yeah,
But I feel like
100%.
gigs learned from their mistake. He navigated it through it well. He waited. He didn't do anything stupid. He came back and he just shit on them. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
He might have learned how to navigate through it by watching So Solid Crew get blackballed, and them not because we just said they didn't make it, and we don't know how much that. Played
Bro,
a
it was
factor.
so deep. Like, I was listening to Lisa Mafia was on Jonathan Ross, and fam, like, I felt for her, man, because it kind of felt like all Jonathan Ross was trying to do was like lean towards the controversy of like all the issues. Yeah, this was time ago, but like she kept trying to like say like, you know, like it's not. Don't believe everything you read. Like, not all of us are bad people. Sometimes we just find ourselves in certain situations, but like she's not there for that. Do you know what I mean? So I just kind of felt for her. But watching that interview just kind of let me know that, like, yeah, man, like they were dealing with a lot of resistance.
But that happens now. Jonathan Ross.
It's not the same, bro.
It's not. They just laugh in your face more now. Jonathan Ross will interview Stormzy and rather know the street shit he does then.
It's different now, man.
It's definitely
I don't think
different.
it's as blatant. It's not as blatant
It's
now.
definitely not as blatant because back then.
Because the questions that Jonathan Ross was asking Lisa Mafia, I don't think he could do that. He didn't do that with 50.
Yeah, but
He didn't do that with Jay-Z.
bro, Jay-Z was disrespectful to his wife.
No, he just asked, is it true her bum's insured?
Don't ask me that, bro. That's my wife.
Yeah, cool.
Do you get what
I'll go and say, yeah.
But Jonathan Ross asked Jay-Z that.
Yeah, when it was on BBC One Friday night with Jonathan Ross, he was wild.
I mean, Jonathan Ross gets away with a lot
50's telling him
without
that,
even
yo,
being funny.
I got shot, and I remember he kept on harping back to. They were talking about him getting shot for a long time about his mum being. So it's like, I feel like back, but interviews were different back then.
So basically,
like even the Britney Spears
DJ Vlad was taking notes watching these man.
no, just this is gonna get edited out. But don't you like? Have you seen?
He interviewed Mega Man.
Vlad,
Yeah.
Have you seen? Yeah, I saw that as well.
Yeah, man. Just big up So Solid, man. Even with what Swiss is doing with Black Pound Day as well.
big up.
It's still very important as well, man. So they're still like their offshoot from their legacy is still kind of like thriving because of what Swiss is doing. Do you know what I mean? So in a sense, yeah, man, So Solid will never die, man.
You
Do
gotta think about what's come out of the flipping So Solid camp just as far as non-music, Black Pound Day, Top Boy. You know what I'm saying? Like all these things that are now cultural institutions for the black community anyway.
Yeah.
So, you know, the legacy lives on even indirectly. So big up.
And I know Mega Man's doing quite a lot of business stuff too. He's got like fashion lines that apparently are doing quite well as well. So yeah, man, like big up So Solid, man. Do you know what I mean?
All right, guys, let's move on to the final topic of the day, the fun one, as per usual. So what we're going to do is we're going to take it in turns and respectfully pick, in our opinion, the worst member of a collective or group of our choice. Mohammed, I'm going to start with you. What do you
I
think?
don't know why Peter's laughing.
I don't know why he's laughing either.
Because this question is horrible, man.
I said respectfully.
So
Fucking hell.
Yemi's question is, who's the wackest rapper in each collective?
Hang on,
I mean,
why'd you say my question?
They just heard the question, bro.
Yeah, I don't know. I just
So why'd
Why'd you say
repeat
my,
it like-
why'd you say my name?
'cause it's your
Did we not agree to this together as a group?
Who came up with this one?
you.
Was it me?
I think it was you.
Either you or me. One of
I think it
us.
was Yemi, man.
Listen,
I think this is a great question.
I said respectfully, innit?
So yeah, Yemi's question.
Stop saying
Peter's
that, bro.
question was, who is the wackest member
So you're adding sauce.
in each collective?
I didn't say all that.
Which means who is the Maru Shamak of each group?
I mean,
gonna get
you
into
probably could
that.
have thought of someone worse than that, but I thought
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
Who's the Francis Jeffers? Or do you want me to carry on going?
That's cool.
That's even if they know who Franny Jeffers is.
What about Inamoto?
If you want, bro.
Cool.
Just pick your one in it.
So, my one is coming from the Rough Riders. A lot of people might not know who he is. In their defense,
I don't know who he was before you said it.
You've never heard of him?
No.
You never heard of Dragon? They call me Dragon.
No.
Have you never heard the Rough Riders anthem?
I've never heard of
it. One. And they call me Dragon.
No.
Peter, do you know what verse I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about. I know who you're talking about.
So Dragon, i.e. Baby Charizard.
Baby.
I just call him Baby Charizard.
Oh, I was gonna say he didn't actually call himself that.
I call him Baby Charizard.
Okay.
To me, he's the weakest member in the Rough Riders because it's obviously not going to be the Locks, Eve, DMX, or any of them man there. So I had another one. It's out of two people in that group.
In Rough Riders?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
It could have gone to him, or it could have gone to MC Jin.
Stronger this guy, man.
So yeah, him or Jin, take your pick.
Who let that happen? Who let Jin sign into Rough Riders happen? Swiss Beats.
Why are you putting on Swiss?
Because he looks DMX.
Nah, it ain't Swiss, man.
Who do you think it was?
It's not Swiss.
You think it was DMX?
Nah, DMX. I think
he was higher up.
Yeah, of course.
What's that white guy's name?
Who?
Because of an L. Leo Cohen.
Nah, Leo Cohen ain't co-signing that, man.
So who put Jin in the Rough Riders?
Oh no, man.
Wait, you say Leo Cohen?
Yeah.
He ain't co-signing that.
But yeah,
man.
So my two is Dragon and MC Jin.
That's crazy. Dragon. I ain't heard that name in time.
And also the end
Nobody mentions Dragon ever.
Except for Mohammed.
I think that's a great shout.
Yeah, man. He sounds like DMX. Like as far as flow, he tries to like sound like DMX. But yeah, no one talks about Dragon. So yeah.
I'm glad you called.
That was a good pick. I'll go next.
I don't blame you for not knowing these tracks.
So just based on the fact that it's been a UK driven episode, I thought I'll keep it UK as well. So I've gone for the group The Movement, and I've selected Devlin as the weak. I'm not gonna say he's the worst member. He's just my least favorite member of the group because, in his own right, he's cool in it.
The question is, who's the worst member?
I'm gonna
Is Devlin
exercise
the worst member in the movement?
Power of authority and say that I'm not gonna use the word the worst member, but just my least favorite.
So Devlin to you is the worst member.
Why did you give me that look for?
No, I just
okay, cool. If I have to do that, then yeah, he's the worst member of the movie.
No, I could tell it was really burning you to say he was cool in it. I could tell. You can see his face. He's cool in it.
That's why I kept on pushing it.
Devlin can rap, man. He's just a bit of a racist. That's all.
I'm not even gonna call him a racist because I don't know if he's racist. But
all right, cool. Whatever that thing was with him, he's that in it.
Devlin a racist?
Or maybe he's pro Brexit or something. I don't know.
Let's not do that, man. Don't do that.
Okay, he can rap in it.
Yeah, but I just feel like compared to the others, he just does not have the same level of skill. I feel like I feel like he tries to fit too many words in like a bar. He has that Talib Kweli effect, innit? Just too many bars, just too many words in a bar. Like just let it breathe, innit? And I just don't feel like he's like his flow just is very straightforward to me, man. Like compared to like Merkston, Scorching Ghetts and Reg, come on, man. He has to be the worst because he ain't better than none of them guys. Do you know what I mean? So I mean, respectfully, man. You know, Devlin's cool, so. You know what I mean? I didn't. That's why I didn't want to say the worst. Just my least favorite, because a lot of people may like him. So yeah, man.
A lot of people do.
Big up Devlin wherever you are, man. But yeah, for me, that's my pick.
He saluted him twice.
He did.
All right, cool. Fair enough. I will go next. Obviously,
Mohammed's a troublemaker, bruv.
He is. So I'm gonna go to North London. I'm going to go to Meridian Drive or Meridian Way. Which one is it?
Meridian Walk.
Meridian Walk. Sorry. So I'm gonna go to Meridian Walk.
Big H.
Big. Yeah. Didn't he create BBK? According to Wiley, anyway.
Apparently.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go to Boy Better Know as a staff record label and as a motherfucking crew. And I'm going to go for the man that they call Shorty.
Shorty, I read BBK.
Now,
Monday to Sunday, I read BBK.
Respectfully, Shorty can't rap to save his life. And I mean, next to the likes of Skepta, JME, even Jammer in Frisco.
Even
Jammer. Yeah, Shorty, no, I'm sorry.
Jammer's rapping better than Shorty.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
I definitely do. Shorty, I just feel like anytime he's on a song with all of them, he always sticks out, but in the worst possible way.
Do you think it's him? He's like 5'1".
See, I'm not even gonna mention all the height stuff. Is he light skin?
Pick him up and throw it. Like, it just doesn't look believable.
Yeah, it just. I don't know, man. It just seems a bit. Nah, I can't get jiggy with Shorty at any point. You know what I'm saying? And he's always got the less good contributions on any BBK track as well. And as I said before, like, I don't think he can really rap like that. So, I mean, salute to him. He obviously plays an integral role, whatever role he plays. But rapping wise, yeah, not for me, dog. But shout out to Shorty, man. God bless you and your family.
Did your man have any other picks?
No, I was so focused on Shorty, I couldn't think of anybody else.
Did I have anyone else? Yeah, you was on Shorty from there.
I was.
Yeah, you done this as soon as he came.
I think I made this topic just to bash on him, which I didn't mean to, but yeah.
Feel you.
I had two people.
Mm.
I had Phaser and Talisa in the end ups, but then that only leaves Dappy.
So Phaser and Talisa.
Yeah, both of them. But then that only leaves Dappy. But he is the group. That's a good one.
That's more than half the group.
Don't you get it? He was the group. Talisa. Honestly, you're telling me if you take out Talisa and Phaser, does it really make a difference?
Before we recorded,
you need Talisa, man.
Before we recorded, he wanted to take all three of them out. Then I told him, well, maybe leave Dappy.
Yeah, and then I thought about it. I thought, Dappy
yeah, but you need Talisa in the group.
Why? Dappy's a better singer than her.
She does the ha ha.
We don't need that.
She could go and take the ha 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 ha.
Shove it up ass.
But yeah, that's the only ones I had. I would have said, yeah, that's about it, really.
Ah, man.
And, and Pill and MMG, but that's about it. And Pill and MMG.
See, that's our standard like Peel joke per episode.
Hey, man.
I feel that. All right, cool. Well, I think we're gonna wrap it up there, guys.
Wait, I've got to do my shout outs.
Yeah, I was gonna get to that.
Okay.
Fucking hell. All right, cool. The issue out. Shout outs.
No,
You got your shout outs too, Peter. Don't put the mic down just yet.
We all got shout outs, bro. I want to do one.
I ain't got my shout outs.
I like ending it like this. Can I just say shout out to Bobby Schmurder? Shout out to Roddy Rebel.
Shout out to Bobby Schmurder. He got out. He's fresh home.
Yeah. And everyone in the industry needs to show him love.
And not rush him into making music, man. Relax.
Everyone needs to show him love. Everyone talks that no snitching bullshit. Everyone talks about that not saying shit. Stand up. He done that. So you might need to show him love.
Is that it?
That's it, man. And shout out to.
I like to shout out someone. I want to shout out Meek Mill for arguably one of the worst 2 weeks a rapper could ever have. To the point where even Vanessa Bryant commented and was like, "Yo, that shit was whack, B." That was so yeah, shout out to him for having an awful 2 weeks from 6ix9ine to now.
We're gonna get into Meek Mill because that bar, people overhyped it. He said a bar. It is what it is.
Yeah, but once the widow is offended, you can't really say anything.
Yeah,
can
you know
you?
what? It's just Kobe's love more than Meek.
I mean, yeah, obviously.
Yeah, like, but it's child.
Meek was insensitive, innit?
Yeah, like
that's all.
Lodi Lux had
it's not necessarily a bad bar, but he was insensitive.
Yeah, but Lodi Lux had a bar when he goes. He's got dreams of a Learjet. He's gonna lean like a Learjet. Yeah. Like people do this. Meek had a Lear bar.
That's more creative though, bro.
Bro, you know.
Like Lodi Lux basically said he's gonna die like a Lear.
Yeah, but that's more creative than that's more creative than saying, "Oh, it's gonna be another Kobe."
1000%. But I'm saying a bar is a bar.
Yeah, I don't think it was that bad. It's just too soon.
A bar's a bar.
Because people have said worse. You know, like Styles P. Like, there's been like folklore that he had a bar about Aaliyah when they were going back and forth with Rockefeller.
I believe that.
Rock the boat, something, die like a bitch in a Rockefeller
coat. Said a lot worse about my guy.
Did you hear what he said, bro? He said,
don't even repeat that.
He was like, rock the boat, you gonna die in a Rockefeller coat.
See, that's just wild. No, that's just, oof.
Bro, but that's been the word on the street for time. Yeah, but no one can find the audio though. Yeah. I believe it.
I believe it as well.
Yeah, I think I heard it.
Said no one's ever heard it.
No, like no one can find it now.
But you heard it.
I think I heard it way back in the day. Yeah, but on the mixtapes, of course, man.
It would still be.
It was out there. You don't just make something like that.
It'll still be out there. Once it's on the internet, it's on the internet. Someone can find it if they want to. I can guess.
Yeah, but you can get rid of it too.
You can't get rid of that.
Of course you can. Of course you can.
I'm just saying, if it wants to get found, people will find it. Do you know what I mean?
But
my point is that Meek Mill bars overblown. People exaggerated it. It's rap.
People are soft in it, but it's
Kobe
in it. It's still too soon. But it's not an awful bar.
It's just Kobe's love more than him. It just
we've heard way worse, man.
Yeah, but people don't fuck with me. They need an excuse. But Chopper, Kobe, it makes sense. It's not like the bar didn't make sense.
Even battle rappers, they say way worse, man.
What? Do you know some of the what? So Yusuf had a bar when he goes, you either die rest in peace or you die become a battle bar.
That's not as bad as the Kobe bar.
Someone said
you just said you're gonna die rest in peace. Or you die.
It says something about dying in a suburban like Big.
Yeah,
fam. People have said worse, you know.
Come on, bro.
Go out like Pac. But people have said worse, man.
I don't necessarily think that's worse though, but that's preference, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm paraphrasing.
Meek had a bar when he goes, "I'm a die fly. Rest in peace, Aaliyah." Like he's mentioned Aaliyah before. She's dead. No one says nothing. It's just they don't like me.
Yeah, but come on, bro. Come on, bro.
Don't make that face and say
This
that.
is the last point I'm gonna make about this. But that bar is not as exactly. But that's not as bad as saying it's gonna be another Kobe, because at least in that bar he's showing respect to Aaliyah. That Kobe bar doesn't seem.
No, not that. This is why when I said I'm a die fly, rest in peace, Aaliyah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a little bit more respectful than just saying, "Oh, it's gonna be another Kobe."
People are
I agree with you, man. People are insensitive.
I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna have the chopper. That's gonna be another Kobe. I mean, someone's gonna die.
But the person that he's saying is gonna be another Kobe is the person that he's.
He's talking about himself though. If you come after me,
I'm gonna have a strap.
I'm going to die with my weapon, a chopper. Kobe died on a chopper. I don't think that's that bad.
Bro, it's no. Rap has gone soft, and people that got involved.
It is too soon.
Bruv, no, it's not. People that, bruv, little the
I
baby got in trouble for thing, rapping about some. He had a bar with some. But then he was just. It's wordplay. It's rap. Like it's getting annoying now.
Bro, I listened to NWA recently, man. Bro, they had the most misogynistic lyrics any rappers ever had, bro. They have skits.
Bro,
that are wild.
Snoop's got a song. Snoop had a mad misogynistic song. What was it again? It's gonna bug me.
Bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks.
No.
Fam, what?
He had a mad, but can we do this topic? Because I generally do want to get into white people.
Can you write it down?
It's really, because it's really, this is my biggest pet peeve with rap right now. The way people are trying to police it. That's my biggest pet peeve.
We can talk about it.
But that's, fine.
Sorry.
That's not rap, that's society. Alright, guys. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Rhymes Like Dimes. If you want to support, follow us on all the socials, review us wherever you get your podcasts, follow, do all that, join the movement, share, you know what I mean? Your voice means a million to us, so, we appreciate any share or any kind of love that you give us, so, shout out to that. I don't have any quotes to close off the show.
Salute to Drive On.
No. But we will see you in 2 weeks' time. Take care, stay safe, stay well, and peace.
Romeo done.
That would have made more effect if you were actually on mic.
That would have been sick.